G'day AGR fans, this is One Man Clan. I'm driving, and every time I do these in-car chats, I'm always complaining about the traffic, but that's one of the reasons that I do these in cars, because Melbourne's getting overpopulated and spending a lot more time in traffic, and I'm like, well, what can I do? It's more productive right now. Hey, I'll do an AGR chat. I listened to one the other day. Which one was it? And I didn't end up uploading it because it was so noisy. So I actually did another version at home, talking to my expensive microphones. But anyway, how you all doing? Just thought I'd quickly let you know what's happening in the world of AGR. I've been, it's really funny because I get obsessed with one certain aspect and I'll work on that, and then, for example, about a month ago or 2 months ago, it's been mostly map making. Made a series of maps. I wrote a list the other day of how many maps, what exactly is my plan with it? What am I doing? Am I a map maker now? And I realized, well, not really. I just want to do a series, and I counted them up. It's actually an interesting number. It's 12. There's 12 maps. So it's kind of like a one-by-one release of the 12 OMC Maps. And you've seen quite a few of them already. There's a few more to go, including one very special one, which I'm waiting for a very special occasion, which I won't talk about until the time is ripe. Hopefully by the end of the year. It's pretty finished. I'm just trying to figure out its final form, and it's interesting. It's got a new there's this stupid strip where it's 80 kilometers per hour. I don't know what that is in miles, and then it goes 60. But because you've been driving 80 for so long, and the 60 is like a set of lights there, it's easy to forget after the set of lights that it's actually 60 for the next bit. So everyone speeds up, and they're sending fines for people, like fines for going 62 in a 60 zone, ridiculous stuff like that. It's like, come on, really? $200 for going 2 kilometers, 3 kilometers over, whatever it is. Anyway, so yeah, 12 maps. I think the future, I don't know, does the future lie in AGR specific maps? The gameplay can be improved by maps. The maps designed to, it's just ideas, you know what I mean? It's just like, well, what if this happened? What if, and actually straight up, the idea is the challenge for red. There's too many maps where it's too difficult for blue, and I do like the idea of a map where red struggles. And there's a few maps where there's certain points where, on defense especially, as I like defend a lot, because no one bloody else will. That's not true. It's also amazing. I don't be, condescending, but Decimus did I saw a video of Cloud. Cloud's been making videos of, it's like doing what I should have bloody done, but he's got off his ass and done it. He's been making videos of gameplay videos. From his point of view, and they're pretty bloody good. It's pretty entertaining. It's Cloud talking about on his channel, which the Mastermind Show, is that what it's called? Sorry, dude. I will put a little. Link there to his channel, and I'm enjoying watching his videos, but also I'm a bit embarrassed. Like, dude, why aren't you doing this? Come on, man! You're there every bloody week. You've got the demos, you've got just do it. It doesn't have to be amazing production. Just say, hey, this is what I'm doing in the map, and talk about it, and blah, blah, blah. Anyway, it's also really interesting to see someone else's perspective, because Cloud's obviously, it's all done from his point of view, what he's thinking, why he's doing it, and as the game curator, I'm looking to see, okay, so what is he thinking? What is he feeling? What choices is he making? And as I pointed out in the comments of one of his videos, Cloud doesn't turn around when he's fighting. He's just going straight, and it's like, dude, you look behind you. I mean, regularly, I'm always looking behind me, and especially when I've got the flag, because I know that people can see where the flag is and they're tracking me. So I'm running backwards and shooting. Anyway, that's that. So what have I been doing? I've been working on the new player model, and it's quite interesting. It's a bit fiddly. Well, it's very fiddly. I hesitate to talk about it because I'm still trying to figure out how exactly it works. Because it's, in a nutshell, his footsteps match the speed at which he's running. There's some new animations. His footsteps match the speed that he's running. It's the only thing called skeletal. Skeletal or skeletal? I'm going to say skeletal. Skeletal animation. And there's separate upper and lower body stuff. And it's funny because I wanted to implement the legs, the running backwards thing. When the player's running backwards, you could see his feet running backwards, which means the animation's running backwards. So what if he's shooting whilst running backwards, which means we need a separate upper and lower body animation. And then I've got this other animation. See, here's where it gets even more complicated because, so if he's running backwards, that means the feet are going backwards. But if he's shooting running backwards, then the feet are going backwards, but we need the upper body to be going forwards to do the shooting animation. So not only is there time differences in the upper and lower animation, the speed at which it plays back, but there's also just navigating this intersection. But there's also the speed, but also the time, but also they're going in reverse order. The upper body's in normal shooting, so it looks like you're shooting like a normal player does, but any normal speed, just because you're running doesn't mean you're going to shoot slower. But the feet are going in a different order, and possibly backwards. Man. So that's that, and there's also something else as well. Oh, okay. The other thing is, all right. So I've got additional animations, and the question is, well, how are they all going to work? For example, I've got this one where if you're hallucinating, your head is spinning around. But how do you incorporate that into what I just talked about, like an additional thing to do? I actually drew a flowchart today, flowcharting exactly how the code works. Now, let's forget the code, just what is the logic here, what needs to be tested and stored, and da-da-da-da-da. And an added complexity of all this is that this is actually, just to get technical for a sec, this is actually being done on the it's called a thing called delta listen. No, I don't get technical details. Let's just say it's done without interfering with the regular Quake guy animations, which are still there, but they're being translated into this new system, which is receiving a certain bunch of data from the server, which you, the client, interprets. Oh, geez. I'm going to stop there. It's getting too... my head's spinning. And I'm driving. I don't want... The body was found, and the victim was at the time speaking and believed some gibberish about... that's my newsreader voice. Australian newsreader. Because, American version would be like, the body was found, and the victim was... Anyway. Was talking on his phone at the time, some babble about some kind of a player model. Anyway, so that's a long-term thing, and there's also a lot of extra stuff there. It's exciting on one hand because it's going to be a brand new look, a brand new thing, and it's going to be a brand new bunch of things, the reactions and animations, including a throwing the grenade animation I've got. It still needs work. That's just a test. At the moment, I'm just testing to see what can be done. What's possible? What's possible? Can this be done? Can that be done? And how would it all fit together? And of course, one of the trouble is the original player model I'm using, that I'm editing, wasn't made by me. It's the Captain Bubs Quake Guy Ranger model. Is that what it's called? The one I talk about on the Inside QC in my Absolute Beginner's Guide to IQM's series, which most people now I've lost completely. Don't know what I'm talking about. Anyway, let's just say the model that I'm using, I didn't make the original one, so the way the skeleton is I have to figure out. I've kind of figured it out now, thanks to Spike. She pulled, going through the intersection. What are you doing? Thank you. Yeah. So it's pretty. Oh man, I wanted to go to Aldi's. Damn it. I'm going to go. Damn it. Should I go to Aldi's? Which one? I'm going to go straight. I'm going to go to the one Sydney Road. Okay. So, where was I? Yeah, so it's quite exciting watching this. There's a few other things I don't want to give away that are exciting, but they're pretty cool. So that's been my attention. On one hand, this is not a gameplay thing, so it's not going to improve the gameplay. But it will mean that it'll have a special look, it's its own look, and of course, at the end of the day, if I want to promote this thing, I need a player that's going to that doesn't look like the Quake guy, because at the moment, okay, it looks like the Quake guy, which is good, so everybody's into Quake is interested, but a whole bunch of other people are not, because they're like, oh yeah, that's that old game. I've discussed this before in my Surviving the Quake World series, which you might want to check out, Surviving the Quake World. And it's funny because I had a conversation recently with someone about some issue about what's happening in the Quake world, and I realised, I thought, I've had this conversation before, and then I realised, man, I discussed this back in 2015. So, yeah, anyway. So yeah, I hope you're well. I hope you had a fantastic week. I haven't been doing updates, which I should. And I'm going to upload this one, I think, because it's been too long. And that's the other thing I read about, because I'm not a very good promoter, because you're supposed to, one thing I read about is, I don't know, look, they say you got to be consistent, right? Which means every week, boom, every Friday people receive an email and it says, hey, check out the latest thing with my weekly chat, part of their weekly routine. On the other hand, that means I'm doing it because I have to. I'm doing it because, which maybe is good, the discipline of getting out. If this was my full-time job and they say, hey, every Tuesday you've got to give a report, I would be doing that damn report. So it's not like, well, I don't feel like it today, or so maybe I should be doing that. But currently, I'm doing whatever I feel like I've got. Right now, I felt like it. I've got something to say, and when you get your inbox thing, and I've seen some stuff from YouTubers who follow this policy, and sometimes you can tell the video they did. You can tell they just wanted to do a video. They felt they should, or it's not as good as the other ones for that reason. Whereas all mine, whether they're brilliant or not, there's a reason to click on it. I've got something to say. Something's happened. Something's on my mind. Some specific thing is going on. You know what I mean? So, like today, for example, because I did a flowchart last night of the what's involved in making this new Quake player work. Oh shit! I forgot to take the paper. I left it at the someone special's house. So anyway, yeah. Oh, well, I'll get them to take a photo of it and send it to me. It's really helpful, damn it. I was looking at it thinking, you know what a flowchart is? You decision tree, do this, do that, question yes, no, and then you follow it, and it really does help for really complicated programming situations. It's like, okay, this is the formula, and then you fill in the details what the actual code is, but at least you get an idea when it gets really complicated of what's going on, so that's great. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Thanks for listening. I will be doing some. I uploaded a few videos. I uploaded one recently. What was it again? I was doing some testing, and the separate upper and lower body things, and the top part of the body didn't even render. And I was like, oh, gee, look at that. I thought, oh, let's make an extra video. So I was going to show someone. Why don't I show everyone that? The AGR DEV videos, which someone asked, hey, are you using Fraps for this? Because maybe they noticed that the quality is lower. The quality is lower on the AGR DEV videos because they're not meant to show the beauty of the game. They're meant to quickly show something that I'm showing someone else, and just to put it out there so everyone can have a laugh and what's he up to? So it's like a little, here's a metaphor. It's not a professional portrait. It's just a quick selfie. Low quality selfie of what's going on in the game at the moment. So yeah. Okay. How you guys doing? Are you looking forward to this week's weekly AGR session? I am. Tomorrow's Saturday. I haven't thought about what to put on. Did I make a bunch of changes this week? Did I fix something? Oh, there was a few crashes. There was a crash last week. Something we haven't had for a year. I was just bragging to Spike about how it's been so long that we haven't crashed. And what do you know? Boom! 2 crashes in one session. Jeez. The Lord punished me. But yeah, you're getting a bit cocky there, my man, Clint. There you go, there's a crash. And just to hit the point home, there's a second one for you, for free. How do you like that? It's like, oh, man. So, well, as someone said, at least it's never boring. So, yeah, okay. I'll take that as a compliment. So, yeah. All right, so that's one crash was my fault because it was just based on something I did with the chap. And this, which has been plugged, that little thing. And that's because the new player model does something special when he's chapping and needs to be told, but the existing client can't deal with that. Oh, geez, so fiddly. Never mind the details. Let's just say it's not set up. The system couldn't deal with that bit of information. So, and the other crash was the one on street, where someone capped, and I think, just a theory, that was because street has funny capping system where there's 4 spots to cap, and different thing happens in each one, and something, I tried to replicate it, I couldn't. Something about if you cap at one spot, but you cap somewhere else, it does something, but I don't know. And typically, the solution to all this stuff is to just rewrite the whole damn thing, which is a bit of a pain, but in my experience, every time there's something really complicated, just rewriting the whole thing, including now the player, with this model I've been using, maybe just make a whole new model might be easier than trying to deal with this. Oh, that's the other thing. There was I'm babbling on. How long am I talking for? 17 minutes. A bones reordering issue. Jeez. Still stuck. Dexed. Thanks to Dexed. Credit, if you're listening to this, dude. Thanks heaps for helping me out with the bone restructuring. For some reason in my system it didn't work. Maybe it's a Linux thing. I don't know. What's going on? I'm going to go left here. Oh shit, it's one-way street? I don't know. Can't tell. Ugh. Beautiful old pub they're knocking down in Melbourne to build apartments. Is it like that where you are, people? If you live in a major city, are you finding they're knocking down the beautiful buildings and everywhere in a frenzy to build the multiple story apartments, to cram them full of people, to turn your place into an urban hellhole? And this word, sorry to get political for a sec, but this word, they use development. Oh, they're going to develop it. This place needs to be developed. This suburb needs to be developed. Developed. What a sneaky word. It sounds like you're improving it. I'm developing it. AGR development. But I'm getting better, or is it wrecking it? I'm improving AGR, aren't I, guys? Oh, it was better before. Someone said that recently. I wish it was back to where it was 5 years ago. Why? Because every time there's a bug, someone does that. Anyway. It's getting better. It's getting more exciting. There's new things happening. It's not boring, so that's something. You got to give it to me, man. Anyway. But yeah, exciting new maps, exciting new player model, the gameplay protected and embellished, of course. The issue's being fixed. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there because it's been 20 minutes. 19 minutes. All right. I'll leave you to it, and I hope you see you guys this week's session.